Hola, hola, ¿cómo están? I'm not usually the one to make spontaneous videos and something like that, but I want to address a few things, and I usually also try to stay clear from controversial topics, but man, I just feel that I really need to talk about this while it's still fresh. It's about the Cats movie. Yeah, like you guys haven't figured it out yet by the thumbnail and the title and everything. Look, I know it's popular to hate on it, and yeah, it looks weird. I mean, even I have to admit it looks a little weird. I mean, the whole just people face, just clear people face and then like fur on top of it, it's odd. But come on guys, it's not that bad. And in fact, let's open the conversation up, okay? Amino Stories now has polls and quizzes available, and I'm gonna use this opportunity to make my first Amino story with 4 polls. To participate, head over to my Global Amino page by clicking on the link in the description or the pinned YouTube comment below. Once there, if you're not already, give me a follow and hit the bell to be up to date with future content. The newest story will be there and ready for you to interact with it. See you there! So anyway, where was I? Oh, right. It's not that bad. Come on, guys. At least you can see the expressions in their faces. I've seen people pairing it up with the new Lion King, and I'm sorry, no. It's a completely different thing. It has completely different problems. But lack of expression is not one of them, okay? How do I get my opinion across more clearly? Okay. Why do they look like that? Well, for people that don't know, Cats is actually originally a Broadway musical. And like any production in theater, the costumes are stylized as well as the makeup. The point is to allude to the appearance of the animal or the object they're trying to portray. If you go too much towards the cat look, you're gonna lose the character, and therefore you're gonna lose the actor playing that character. Broadway can get away with theater makeup, but movie makeup is a completely different thing because of different shots that you're able to get. I mean, theater makeup, you're gonna be able to see the mistakes if you're looking at a close shot. Movie makeup usually involves prosthetics and fake noses and stuff like that. And again, this is a Broadway musical, so 85% of the time people are singing, projecting, like really opening their mouth, really stretching their face muscles, and at the same time classical dancing. So imagine like a chunk of latex in your face going up and down, it's gonna be uncomfortable. And at the same time, when you have big name actors like that in your production, hiding their faces over a layer of latex sometimes can be good and sometimes can be bad. In this case, I think it would be bad, because you just lose the person that's playing it. And I feel like I need to add something else. I've seen a lot of people saying, why didn't they just, made them real cats, like, and they just, like, CG'd them, and, they would have been just cats. And I, think about that, and I think that would have been awesome. Or maybe, why didn't they, animate them in 2D like they were gonna try and do in the 90s at some point. And of course, me being an animation nut, it would have been amazing. But at the same time, you gotta understand that even though, you and I might think it would have been great, not a lot of people like animation the same way that you and I do. And when you're making a movie based on this huge popular musical, you wanna try and get the most people from different niches and different groups with different tastes as possible. At the same time, it's a Broadway musical. Most of the time, Broadway musicals have amazing, gigantic, choreographed numbers, and I don't think like little cat bodies would be able to perfectly emulate that. And if you would have animated them in 2D or stylized them in a more cartoon-like way, you have the issue that there are a great number of people that still think that anything that is cartoon or anything that is stylized animation is mainly for kids, and that is not the case for this particular material. I also heard comments about making them more cat-like, and you know what? In that regard, I think I agree. I mean, like, I look at the faces and, I can see the actors, but man, I mean, like, would it have been like a little bit better to just like add a little, cat nose there, or maybe, some cat fangs or something, or like the line to split their lip. But at the same time, I'm thinking maybe they thought that it would have looked like more Uncanny Valley than it actually looks. I mean, I don't know. The only thing that I can say is that it's a nitpick, and I try not to obsess over nitpicks. And at the same time, I mean, if they go ahead and do that, they risk losing the people that are playing them. And they're using gigantic, super talented names. So I guess, they appeal to the wider possible audience, and they decided to keep them as recognizable as possible. Cats has always been about the music and the dancing. The memory song, when Victoria opens the Jellicle Ball with her performance, the fact that they're cats is just a bonus, an amazing and beautiful bonus, but it's not the main point. It's what draws you to watch the play, and it's what puts off a lot of people at the same time. But it's not the main point, and it was never the main point. I think personally, I can't find the same level of repulsion everyone seems to have. Probably because I know where the material is coming from, and also because it's the first musical I ever saw, and I just loved it. And also, I love cats. Like the actual animal cats. It's the first musical I ever saw, and I just loved it. I think either way, not everyone will be happy. Cats wasn't even well liked in the musical world when it first came out, and it's still considered the black sheep in some way or another. And you know what? It's kind of funny that the movie has gained the same status. People didn't really seem to get Cats when it started hitting Broadway theaters. And now people don't seem to get the trailer for the movie when it's coming out. So in that regard, I think also in that aspect, the movie is paying tribute and a pretty good homage to the musical. At least they're faithful to the source material in that way. They're not trying to completely change it to a point where you sit down and you see the trailer and you don't even recognize what you're watching until the title comes out. I mean, at least they're not doing that. I know what Cats is. The minute that I heard the music, I knew exactly what I was getting myself into, and that just got me super pumped. You know what? At least they're trying something new. At least they're honoring the material while doing it. I mean, when was the last time we saw a big budget movie with real actual sets? I mean, guys, they have real actual sets on them. The actors are all in the same room, like they're putting up a theatrical production, like a real theatrical production. At least you have to sense the dedication that they put into this production, into making it faithful to the source material. I mean, I cannot believe that you can't even sense a small smidge of that. That small smidge of dedication and love poured into this. Maybe I'm letting my theater background speak too much for myself, but I guess that's why I'm actually extremely pumped for this movie to come out in December. And you guys can be sure I'll be there opening day. It may be popular to hate on it, but I've never been the one to join what's popular. And if you're in my channel, I have a good hunch you don't either. It's fun to be the underdog sometimes. Most of the time, in my case. And I have no intention of changing that. I think this movie has no intention of changing that either. To change its status of being the underdog, the black sheep of the Broadway world, and now a black sheep in the movie industry. But who cares, because the music is gonna be amazing, the actors are amazing, the sets are amazing. I'm just gonna, focus on that, enjoy that, and try not to pay attention over the nitpicking. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't know what you guys are gonna do. But, I'm not recording this to try and change people's opinions or something like that. It's just that I always wanted to talk about things that interested me, apart from, the stuff that I usually talk about here. And since this is fresh and I had the time, I thought it might have been a good idea to, spice things up for this conversation.